Some say that alongside this see-it-to-believe-it world is the shadowy realm of the supernatural. Sometimes the residents of that dimension touch us, and in one moment, our lives are changed forever. America's Lady of Supernatural Thrillers, Mary Ann Pohl, is your real Ghost Chatter host. On this podcast, you'll hear stories by real people who have seen real ghosts. Gordon tells us about an unwelcome encounter with his dead father-in-law, and Lori tells us about a dead logger who looked for his wife and daughter for years after his death, until she helped him find peace. Then there's Victoria, who shares her story of a long-dead pig, Edna June, who still watches over her ranch. Did you know a cafe in Anchorage, Alaska is haunted by the ghost of a woman who was blown to bits by a hired hitman? Once in a while, Mary Ann will podcast a tale taken from the genre she loves best, the supernatural. These are just a few of the stories you will hear, and these stories just keep coming. Welcome to today's Real Ghost Chatter episode.
Have you heard about Anchor? If you haven't, I'm here to tell you it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free, and I mean free. I haven't paid a dime to produce or distribute my podcasts. There's a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. How easy is that? Podcast distribution can be a headache, but not with Anchor. Anchor distributes your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many, many more. As a bonus and not an obligation, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Anchor has everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I'm Mary Ann Pohl, America's Lady of Supernatural Thrillers, a charter member of Author Masterminds, and your host on Real Ghost Chatter. Lately, I've been researching haunted destinations. There are some amazingly weird places here in America that I knew nothing about. I find these locations interesting, and they may be on my list for exploration. Maybe they will be or are already on your list too. The first is Banwell Bridge in Fort Dodge, Iowa. This bridge is also called the Banwell Terror Bridge because of the many stories lending to a haunted reputation. The most famous story of Banwell Terror Bridge is a woman in white who plagues it. For over 20 years, locals testify to seeing the spirit of a mother who threw her 3 children off the Banwell Bridge. It is rumored the woman took her children to the location, purportedly to watch a train pass below, but just as the train passed, she threw all 3 children off the overpass. The train killed them instantly. The mom then threw herself over the bridge and died. To this day, residents in the area warn drivers to roll up the windows and lock the doors before crossing. Otherwise, the woman's spirit will try to pull you out of the vehicle and throw you over, just as she did with her children. Those brave enough to get out of their cars have reported hearing voices, seeing orbs, and at times hearing a woman moaning beneath the overpass. Many report finding handprints on their vehicles after reaching the other side of the crossing. And if this isn't enough, some also report sightings of a decapitated railroad worker and recently a werewolf-like creature. The second is Clinton Road, New Jersey. It is a 10-mile stretch of road which runs in a generally north-south direction, starting at Route 23 near Newfoundland to its northern terminus at Upper Greenwood Lake. It has been dubbed by many as the most haunted highway in America. Any road with a section known as Dead Man's Curve sounds dangerous enough, but that reference alone isn't sufficient to earn it the reputation it has. There are many other reasons this thoroughfare is a scary place. Following are just a few examples of encounters that lend credence to Clinton Road's reputation. First is the boy haunting the bridge. Under one of the bridges crossing Clinton Brook, which is the place known as Dead Man's Curve, is one of the road's most famous haunts. Story has it, if you throw a quarter into the water below and take a few steps back, the coin will be thrown back by the ghost of a boy. In other tales, this spirit pushes living visitors into the water if they peer too far over the side. Some who have stopped to look into the water have reportedly caught a glimpse of the ghost boy's reflection. Reasons for his death vary. Was he hit by a car while running after a ball? Did he drown in the water? No one knows for sure. Ghostly car crash victims are another reported sighting. Some claim to have encountered two ghosts near Terrace Pond. People believe these apparitions to be the ghosts of two park rangers who died on duty in 1939. There are first-hand accounts of tourists and locals seeing a ghost Camaro driven by the girl who may have died in a tragic crash in 1998. Supposedly, the mere mention of the accident causes this ethereal appearance. There are countless accounts of phantom vehicles. The majority of the sightings are of pickup trucks, but in some cases, there are only floating headlights not attached to any vehicles. The headlights chase drivers to the end of Clinton Road, then disappear. Then there's the strange creatures. From hellhounds to monkeys, a variety of bizarre creatures have been reported on this road after dark. Some people say an undetermined hybrid. It vanishes too quickly for them to give a great description. The more mysterious sightings are blamed on jungle habitat survivors, an attraction that housed wild and exotic animals before it closed its doors in 1976. If this isn't enough, Clinton Road is rumored to be a site for aliens and satanic cult rituals. It has attracted so much attention over the years that a movie called Clinton Road was produced. If you've ever wished to play a game of catch with a ghost boy, race a phantom Camaro, or encounter a mythological beast, you may want to add Clinton Road to your sightseeing adventures. Taking a friend along is recommended. If nothing else, rural New Jersey's Clinton Road will undoubtedly make your skin crawl. The third destination is Bowden Road. Bowden Road is located in Huntsville, Texas. Known by locals as Demon's Road, it has nonstop claims of supernatural experiences by travelers who drove the old road. It leads to the especially creepy Martha Chapel Cemetery and is said to be one of Texas's most haunted spots. Even in daylight, this isolated little back street emits an eerie vibe. After dark, well, it's even worse. People who have traveled Demon's Road tell tales of frightening encounters, and an eerie feeling sweeps over anyone who dares disrupt the ghosts said to be lingering there. Locals warn the curious who intend to explore the path or visit the graveyard against provoking the spirits. Many of those cautions are from people claiming a ghost followed them home after being in the area. In May of 2010, a woman reported an encounter while with her husband and their friends at the cemetery. She claimed they saw a man wandering through the graveyard one evening, but paid little notice to the traveler. The woman returned home. While entering her shower, she turned around to close the shower curtain and saw the man from the cemetery standing in her room. The man disappeared after accomplishing what he came to do, instilled terror in the woman. She has not reported seeing him again. In another story, a man and his buddy saw a hand protruding from a grave in the Martha Chapel Cemetery. As they watched, the whole arm came up out of its grave, clutching at the ground as if searching for something. They walked toward the grave, his friend urging him to stay put. The man leaned down to touch the hand, his friend trying to yank him away the whole time. He made contact. It reportedly gripped his hand and began to pull him down. He managed to pull free. His terrified pal asked him if he was okay. Then the man saw a person standing close behind his friend. He rushed to his friend to protect him. Right before he reached his friend, the man lifted his head and stared at him. According to this report, the apparition also looked like his friend, who had been begging him to leave. When he turned to look at his real friend, he wasn't there. He bolted and headed for the vehicle. As he raced up to the car, he saw handprints in the dust on the vehicle. He climbed into the safety of it, and he realized his friend was dead in the back seat. Other witnesses report large handprints on their vehicles. Some claim the prints look like someone or something unseen grabbed at their car. All in all, almost 100 car owners have reported handprints on their vehicles after a supernatural encounter. Travelers also report mysterious red lights along Bowden Road. People claim the number of lights that appear is contingent on how many people travel in the vehicle. As an example, when leaving the road in the early morning hours, a group of 4 passengers reported 4 red lights appearing out of nowhere. 4 handprints then materialized on the hood of the truck, according to one in the group. Other reports include being visited by a young child's apparition with glowing eyes, riding a tricycle, and a strange, faceless, threatening creature. Whatever form the spirits choose, they are always reported as hostile and terrifying. If you cannot resist the urge to explore the unexplained on Bowden Road, I take along some holy water at the very least. I don't know if any of these stories are true. I do know that I have done a bunch of research on them, and I thought you would enjoy them as entertainment. And if you are brave enough, you can go find out for yourself if some of these have really happened, or if they will happen to you. If you enjoyed this podcast, I encourage you to share it with others you think would also be interested. If you'd like to know more about me, go to MaryannPoll.com and or authormasterminds.com/MARY-ANN-POLL. Until next time, may the wind always be at your back, the sun on your face, and the good Lord walk beside you.